Hey gamers, I just finally fucking unlocked Dark Journey. I've quote unquote completed the camo grind. I have Nebula on every weapon except for the Krig, which I've literally just unlocked, and the Sorg, which I have gold. I was doing that while getting Nebula, unlike my other guns. And I posted about this on Blue Sky. Link will be down below. And I said, hey, anyone want to see a video and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I'm going to quickly throw this together because I am low effort because I'm tired. But yeah, essentially, the whole time-saving thing is just dovetailing, doing multiple things at once. And now with these new weapon unlocks, with the seasons, you have to do less and less a percent of the whole thing. You still need 33 weapons Afterlife to unlock Nebula, and 33 weapons Opal to unlock Afterlife. And you need 7 assault rifles gold for Opal, 6 assault rifles gold, 6 SMGs gold for Opal, etc. So it's essentially the exact same as launch. So you can actually choose which assault rifle you don't want to do gold, and you can choose which SMG you don't want to do gold at the minute, which is incredible. I'm going to bring this as a perspective of someone who hasn't even started the camo grind, but I mean, obviously you can, bring all of this together. It doesn't really matter. I hope. I'm just kind of spitballing here, to be honest. I haven't got a script or anything. I'm just going straight off raw thoughts immediately after finishing. I guess first things first, you're going to decide what gun you don't want to do, because you don't want to waste time starting a gun if you don't want to do it in the end, or you want to save it for after everything else. You can do straight shot to Nebula like the Krig. I can earn every camo up to Afterlife, up to Nebula on this thing. In one game, technically, if I wanted to, but that's not really possible. I personally would skip the Mark II, the Goblin Mark II. It's just the worst assault rifle, and you have to do a lot of fucking clicking, whereas every other thing in here is fully auto, so you can just hold, and it's a little bit easier on your fingers. SMGs, they're all pretty good. It's just down to personal preference, honestly, which one you want to skip, if you want to skip one. I would say probably the worst SMG might be the Jackal in Zombies, so maybe you might want to skip that. The Sorg is quite good, but obviously if you don't have the Sorg or the Krig, I mean, they just came out and they're only in the Battle Pass at the minute, and you'll need to do the challenges if you don't have the Battle Pass after Season 1, but that's a whole nother can of worms. This is, if you don't have the weapons, then you just do them. It doesn't matter that much. I'm just gonna go over some key attachments as well for these guns. If you have them leveled from multiplayer already, this is ideal. If not, you're gonna have to try and level them up to that in Zombies while doing the grind. There are some guns that are better than others for camo grinding, which obviously doesn't matter in the long run because you still have to do the guns, but just some weapons won't take as long. The CHF barrel is a need just for every gun it can go on because of the headshot multiplier. It's just very good in Zombies in general. Suppressor for salvage, so you can upgrade your gun, obviously. Honestly, I would definitely recommend an optic on guns that, even if you have to give up an attachment slot for it, if the iron sights aren't as good as maybe a microflex, for example. The Kepler microflex is my favorite sight in this game. Because, every time you miss a headshot, it adds up, but don't stress too much. You get tons of zombies, obviously. Extended mags. I can actually put extended mag 3 on this file. Light stock for movement, or balanced stock for movement if you also care about movement speed. what's it called? The fucking the what? Aim walking. That's it. I was looking for it. I was like, I know it's on here. It's the bottom one, aim walking. But you definitely want some kind of movement speed on there. And if you've got it, rapid fire, obviously. You can tell it's been a while since I've done some of these guns, because I haven't actually put the attachments on there. Some other ones are... Where are... I feel like I'm missing something. No, I don't think I am, actually. I'm being stupid. We have word of warnings as well, right? So certain guns are extremely annoying to camo grind. These guns being the GS45 and the LR762. These two guns are a pain in the butt because you need 2,000 headshots like every other gun except for the rocket launchers and the melee. But these guns are explosive when you pack-a-punch them. So you are not really going to want to pack-a-punch them. While it is possible to get pack-a-punch kills with them, like headshots, it would just be for that one zombie, that one bullet, and everything else around it will die from the explosive damage, or take damage from the explosive damage, turn into crawlers or something. It's not worth it. Just don't do it. Now, this is mitigated after the guided mode came out, or the directed mode, whatever it's called, and I will be showing people that later. Another thing, the GS45, there is a camo for it. I can't show you at the minute. I'm not a high enough level to have it unlocked. But you need to get 300 hipfire kills with the GS45 for one of the special camos. This also does not count kills from the explosive damage. So you're going to have to just run that dual wield, or you don't have to do it dual wield, but just run it. Don't pack-a-punch it until you've got that camo as well. You can do it at the same time as the, I think it's dead wire you need to have equipped to this gun. But, you know, you can see your camo challenges as and when you need them. Is there anything else I need to show with the weapons? Oh, yes, the shotguns. Here's an attachment. The full choke. Once again, if you have it leveled from multiplayer, this thing's incredible because of the hipfire spread. It makes it so much easier to get the headshots. It's on both shotguns, and it will do bits for you. If you have Dragon's Breath unlocked and equipped, take it off, because obviously that is going to hurt your, you know, chances of doing the headshots. I would either maybe go for the slug. I don't know how good the slugs are at the minute because they've just been buffed. They could be really good, or just go trusty old rapid fire. It's not really... It's up to personal preference. As far as I'm aware, I haven't used the slugs. But yeah. When you're actually doing the camo grind, you're going to not want to use ammo mods as much as possible. Avoid elemental pop. Avoid napalm burst and all that crap, even though they are good for the dealing with the manglers and the specials. It's fine for the headshots. It's okay for the headshots because you can miss out on a few zombies here and there. When you're going for Opal and when you're going for Nebula, do not use them. Because when, let's say you proc a napalm burst as you're about to kill a mangler and you have to reload. If that napalm burst kills the mangler, that doesn't count towards your Opal. It won't count at all. So that is something you do not want to do. I would always just run Ether Shroud, because it's just easier, but obviously Frenzy Guard works, Energy Mine, what's the point? You're going to kill zombies with your guns. The last thing I want to say before we hop into a game, where I don't know where anything is in this fucking menu. What am I looking for? Augments. The augments that are important, for the melee weapons, you're going to be want to running. You are going to want to be running Vampiric Extraction and stick and move, just so that you can keep fucking swinging at them. It's just the fastest way, because if you have Espresso on, yeah, you can hit them faster and deal more DPS, but you're going to have to keep trying to regen all the time, unless you want to be spamming stims and wasting salvage, which you don't, really. Vampiric Extraction, stick and move, so you can just go in, go out, go in, go out, and you can keep regenning any health. Strength training is completely useless because you're never going to use your punch, and melee kills reloading your weapon, once again, useless. You're going to be spamming melee weapons. What else is there? Deadshot is, once again, you're going to want just more headshot damage. Maybe you're going to want dead first if you're using a sniper and stuff, but that's not going to work very well on armored enemies, because as far as I'm aware, you cannot critical hit an armored enemy if there is armor on the head. I've never seen like the yellow hit mark or the yellow numbers or anything like that. It's always blue, so I'm not really sure about that. So I would just run dead head and then armor piercing damage, because fuck armored zombies. Hipfire spread reduction would also be nice as well, especially for some guns that already have a tight hipfire spread. It's all good. Elemental pop, I would avoid it. Just in general. However, Citrus Focus is probably your best option, because you could just put on Cryo Freeze, and that would just increase your general damage to zombies. Definitely, that is your idea if you're going to do Elemental Pop. It's probably better to do that, but it doesn't matter too much. You can do whatever you want. I didn't do this during my grind because I didn't think about it properly. I was using Electric Cherry the whole time because I like Electric Cherry, but I think Citrus Focus would be the way to go with Cryo Freeze for the headshots. Ammo mods, I would once again just avoid them at all costs unless you specifically need them on for a special challenge. So yeah, whatever, they don't really matter. Field upgrades, most of the time I was running Ether Shroud, I was running Frenzy Guard a bit. I still haven't touched Dog Flare after the first time I used it. It's complete dog shit. Energy Mine, use it if you're level 1, I guess. I don't know. But I would permanently unlock Ether Shroud. It is a very good idea. On Ether Shroud as well, you're going to want... It doesn't really matter too much for your major augment, but obviously you're going to want extension or extra charge for your minor. The caveat being melee weapons. Melee weapons, specifically with Afterlife. It's whatever otherwise, but Afterlife requires you to get 20 kills without being hit 10 times. That is extremely difficult with melee weapons unless you're using Void Sheath. Void Sheath is incredible. I've been able to get 40 kills with one use of it, one time, and 20 kills basically every time. So every time you're running a melee weapon, just hit Ether Shroud when you can, get 20 kills, obviously wait for there to be 20 zombies, and then do your thing. That's basically all the pre-game setup. So we'll go into the general strategy now, I guess. Okay, so I've just loaded into a game of directed mode Liberty Falls. Now the reason for this is because of the round cap feature. This game is capped at round 15. It will never go past round 15, and every time I finish round 15 will start again. I've just said round 15 like 400 times. Now, this just makes every weapon viable. The reason you ever really have to quit a game when you're doing headshots is because around the 1500 headshot mark is when you're getting to like the late 30s-ish. And most guns, while they don't fall off completely and become unusable, you will be a lot slower at getting the headshots since you will be running around constantly, dealing with manglers, dodging manglers, etc. And that just makes getting headshots slower. So once you get to roughly 1300 headshots, I would say 1400 headshots, you can save and quit, or you can just leave or exfil and start again on the headshots. That's in a regular game. And I think that would be a faster way of doing the headshots. However, you do have to then keep leaving games, joining games, getting reset up. So I believe directed mode would be an easier way to do this. Now, there are obviously drawbacks, one of them being zombie spawns are slower. It's per gun, it might be slower. I obviously haven't tested it. I did do the Sorgs headshots in about an hour and a half, 2 hours-ish, in directed mode. That was from round 1, and then round 15. I was just getting through round 15 over and over again with the Sorg while farming for Nebula, and I'll get to that. But directed mode is not slow for headshots, which is a good thing. So as you can see, I've just finished round 3, and round 3 is starting again. And this is just how it is. I'm going to open up the map a bit. I would open up the map as soon as possible, because once you open the first door, I believe, it might be the second door. Yep, there you go. The second door, the round cap changes to 5. And obviously, a higher round cap means the zombies are faster and more of them spawn. So it just makes it a bit faster. So, I've now made it further into my game of Liberty Falls directed mode. And I've now reached my round cap of 11. I've just flipped around, as you saw. And I've just unlocked my 200 critical kills camo for my Krig. I have pack-a-punched it. I have opened the church. And I'm just steadily making progress in my game. I've got green rarity. I could upgrade that to blue. I might just do that now, just to get out of the way. And you're just going to want to continue through your game until you reach your round cap. Ooh, I'm going to get my blue rarity. I just want to get through this vermin round. I've never actually had a vermin round on my round cap before, so I'm just going to try this out real quick. And see what happens. If it respawns another vermin round, or if it goes back to zombies. That'd be a very interesting question, actually. Okay, it's back to zombies. Nice. So once you get to this sort of point in your game, you have two options, really. Depending on how far along in your grind you are. Obviously, you can get your weapon maxed out as far as possible, etc., etc. And you can just get your headshots for gold. Or, what you're going to want to do is get further along into the Easter egg if you're going for Nebula. And once again, we'll get further to that in a second. I'm mainly focusing on gold at the minute. But, yeah, those are your two options. If you're going for gold, you can just keep doing this. You can literally just keep upgrading your gun. I wouldn't upgrade it to tier 3. Because it gets expensive for ammo and it doesn't make a difference. Although you're still going to be gaining money either way. But just keep getting your headshots. And then once you've finished with your headshots, you can go straight onto your special camos and do those. Depending on if you're on the right map, of course. Some of them require bugs. Good old parasites, that's what they're called. Some require vermin, which do spawn in regular rounds on directed mode on round 15. So you can keep working away at that. It is much slower though. See, there you go. You've got a vermin. But usually it's only about 30 vermin kills, so you're perfectly fine on that front. if you're ever wondering how far along your camo progress you are, if you're doing it all in one game like me for this Krig, it's super duper easy. You just press the tilde button, or you hold it on your keyboard, and it will show you your weapon stats for that game. On controller, I'm not really sure what the button is. I would imagine it's your map button, and you can switch the tabs at the top. I'm not really sure, but I don't know if that was added in Season 1, or if I just missed it completely, but here's what it is. That's just the button above tab. So that's how you do that. And this is just where you want to be for gold and for afterlife, because on round 11 it's relatively simple just to not get hit. It's not too bad at all, and you can just do this forever. Oh god. And I believe once you get through your round cap, I think it might be 3 times, it will get rid of the round cap. Up to 15, of course. I'm not sure if it's by 1 round or not. This is just something I noticed while doing Nebula. I would get to the point of the Easter egg where you summon an HVT, and I'd be at that's your round 14 cap at that part of the Easter egg. And obviously it can only go up by 1 at that point. So I want to try this out for you guys as well. This should be the 3rd time I've done round 11. And it's not going up. Okay, it could go up at some point. It doesn't really matter either way. But this is essentially what you do for your gold and for your afterlife. Opal, on the other hand, is where things get interesting. So we'll meet you back then for the Opal grind. This is gold. So Opal is a bit of a bitch in multiple ways. One is that you're going to need to kill, at the bare minimum, 690 manglers, which sounds like a lot, and it kind of is. But, I mean, by the time I finished Nebula, I've killed 6,500 of them. So, that puts it in a bit of perspective. But manglers are a bit of a rare resource in directed mode. So once you have your first set of Opal guns to unlock, let's say you finish your assault rifles, all 6 gold assault rifles. Let's say then you want to get Opal on them. I would do that as soon as possible. So what you're going to want to do is hop into a game of Liberty Falls specifically now. We're like, Terminus is good for headshots too. You can do either or. It really doesn't matter. But when you're going for Opal, you should be on Liberty Falls because of the absurd mangler spawn rate. They're bad in Terminus, but they are something else in Liberty Falls. And you have, once again, a couple options here. And the one I recommend is, instead of obviously running 2 guns you want to get Opal on, in our hypothetical scenario, we're saying that we've done our assault rifles. We want to run an assault rifle that we want to get Opal. If it's a wall weapon, I wouldn't even bring it in. Like, let's say you're doing the XM4, you want to get the XM4 Opal. I wouldn't even bring it in as your loadout weapon, as it's on the wall. Obviously, make a zombies build for it, but it's on the wall, so you don't need to worry about bringing it in with you. For other guns like the GPR, the Model L, that kind of stuff, I would bring it in just so you can make sure you're not spending lots of money on the box instead of upgrading your gun. And you're just going to want to get to round 30 as fast as possible. Round 30 to 34 is roughly when you'll have 30 manglers spawn into your game. I think it's closer to 34 actually, because the manglers start going crazy after round 30. Obviously, it depends on your vermin rounds, but yeah. Your second gun, the one that you either bring in or just, if it's a box weapon you're trying to do, let's say your SMG, you're trying to get an SMG gold while doing Opal on your assault rifle. You're going to be using this the majority of the game to level it up and to get headshots. And you're just going to swap to your assault rifle to get a mangler kill every now and then. But yeah, we're trying to get to those rounds as fast as possible just to get through them. We're working on the headshots at the same time. You should get about 1400 headshots before we get to where it gets unbearable, and you just restart and do it again. A good sign to know when to stop doing headshots is when you get an Opal camo, if you've been killing all your manglers with the right gun. Oh fuck, I'm gonna die. Yeah, okay. So you obviously don't want to be running Napalm Burst on your mangler killer, your gold gun that you're trying to get Opal. Because if that procs and the Napalm Burst kills the mangler, that won't count towards your camo, as far as I'm aware. I did test it literally once, and I don't remember how well I tested it, but I remember being like, okay, I need 6 manglers, and then I killed like 8, and then I got Opal, and I'm putting that down to Napalm Burst. So I'm going to turn off the Rampage Inducer now that we've passed the early rounds. And we are going to get a little higher just to sort of show you what we're doing here. So we've now made it to round 11, which is our first mangler round. I've done the same as in last game. I've upgraded my Krig to green Pack-a-Punch 1. This is the gun I'm getting gold on. So this is the one I'm headshotting. And then I've also bought a Marine SP off the wall, and for demonstration purposes, this is the gun I have gold, and I also have the ability to unlock Opal on it. So as we're going through the rounds, we're going to be killing zombies with our Krig, and whenever a mangler pops out like this, we are going to kill it with the Marine. With our Opal ready gun, I guess. Now, I didn't think about this. I've got the Dragon Breath round on, because I'm stupid. So this might not count, but it doesn't need to count anyway. I've already got Nebula. But you do not want to be running Dragon's Breath if you have it unlocked. So we're going to kill the mangler with this to go towards our Opal challenge. So that's gone towards our Opal challenge. Ignore the fire. Ignore the fire once again. And now we're just going to switch back to our Krig and continue on the headshots. And that's essentially going to be the game. Just kill the zombies with your gun and kill the manglers with your Opal ready gun. I would always upgrade your headshot gun over your mangler gun, because the zombies are just harder to kill in general. And also, it doesn't matter if your Opal gun is weak. You're obviously going to want to get it a little bit ahead of the... not ahead of the curve, but like, you're going to want to keep it not even viable. You just need it to do some damage to the manglers. And you can weaken them down with the Krig like you saw me do. And cap them with the gun you want Opal on. And you're just going to keep doing that over and over again. This is by far the longest part of the grind, is the Opal, is unlocking Opal, since there's no real way that I know of to cheese the manglers. So you're just going to have to keep playing a game to round 34 and getting Opal. One way to speed it up a little bit is going a little bit further beyond to the early 40s. what you can do is you can finish getting opal on your marine, for example. Here, this is my opal gun. And you're like, okay, I need to get the Tanto opal still. So you buy it off the wall, you upgrade it a few times, and then you start using this to kill the manglers. And since you're on a higher round, you can get it done very fast. It's actually very, very fast past round 30 to get opal. Like 11 to 34-ish, you'll have 30 mangler spawn. And then between 34 and, I don't know, 41, 42, you'll have another 30 manglers. It is insane how fast they start spawning in these late rounds. And it's just not right, really. If you get to that point and you decide to do it and you think it might be worth it, I would stop prioritizing headshots. I would, let's say I'm on round 30 right now, or not round 30, let's say I'm on round 40 right now. I've got my marine opal, and now I want to get my Tanto opal. What I'm going to be doing is running around in the spawn. As soon as the round starts, I'm going to activate this Dark Ether field generator. And this mangler's going to pop out of this window here. I'm going to weaken him down with my Krig, my main weapon. And then cap him with the Tanto. And that's how you're going to do it. If you let the manglers come into the Dark Ether field generator, the first tick of damage, I believe, or the second tick of... I think it's the first tick of damage. They will lose their helmet, leaving them vulnerable to critical damage to the head, which is very, very nice on those later rounds. And obviously, you can stand around in these all you want and take a bit of damage here and there. You can't obviously stay in it the whole time. And then once they run out, you're going to be running around the spawn room, getting headshots where you can, etc., etc. But don't worry too much. You're mainly focusing on the manglers. And if you need to, you can use a mutant injection, etc. But this is only after you've unlocked your first opal, and if you're going for a second and you think your gun isn't good enough to just carry you through the rounds. So once again, you're going to just get the mangler low. And then you're going to avoid the zombies and just finish them off with your opal ready gun. I'm going to die. Oh, God. Yeah, as I said, this is by far the longest part of the grind. You're going to want to get as many guns opal as you can while grinding headshots. So directed mode is a good place to start. I would not do your gold grind in directed mode if you have an opal gun that you are able to do. If you don't have any guns available to do opal, for example, you've done all of your SMGs and ARs, for example, opal, but you haven't gotten gold on another gun yet, then sure, hop into directed mode with a gun, quickly grab golds, and then while you're getting gold on those guns in directed mode, like let's say you're doing the sniper rifles, you just got to get the sniper rifles done in directed mode, and as soon as you're done with the snipers, you hop straight back into regular mode to get opal on the snipers while you're headshot farming on the shotguns, for example. You just need to get them done at the same time as much as possible. Any abominations, just kill them as normal. Obviously, you don't need to worry about them. Just get rid of them as normal. But yeah, that's basically it. There's not really much else to say about the hard part. I would say that's the hard part of the grind. It all gets very short from here. 80%, 85% of your time is going to be spent getting opal on every single weapon. That's where the grind is. And then the mastery camos, unlocking them are basically your victory lap. I unlocked the ability to get Afterlife at about 110-ish hours. Maybe 120 hours of playtime. And it took me 8 hours to get Afterlife on every gun. I did it in one stream. And it really did not take very long. And that's even without directed mode. So it's probably faster in directed mode as well. Since you have the cap of 15, like, this is how hard the game is going to be from now on. that abomination will never spawn again, for example, on round, like, abominations don't spawn in directed mode on this map outside of the one step of the Easter egg that spawns the HVT. It's super, super easy for headshots, but once again, bad for Opal. You get 2 manglers a game, if you're lucky. And you're just gonna keep on a-going. And then once you're done with Opal, you have Afterlife. Afterlife is exactly the same as Gold. Once you hop into Afterlife, you're literally just gonna... I would recommend... The way I did it was hopping into a game with a gun that I wanted to get Afterlife, and just tried my hardest to get 200 kills without taking damage. That'll take it to around 10-ish. It's not too hard. And then what I did is I swapped out just for a random gun in the mystery box. I hit the mystery box. If I got a gun that I didn't have Afterlife on, I literally just hopped out of the... If I got a gun I didn't have Afterlife on, I just pack-a-punched it and started going. I would not pack-a-punch the gun you load in with on the Afterlife grind, because you don't need to. Just get it green from the church Easter egg, and that will carry you to round 10 without taking any damage at all. And then if you want to push your luck a bit, like I was, you can do a third weapon. But by the time you finish your second Afterlife camo, if you do it optimally, you'll be on about round 16, and there's going to be an abomination. You're going to have a couple more manglers. It's going to be it's not hard per se. It would just take a bit longer because you're going to lose more of your streaks. It's 20. You have to get a streak of 20 without getting hit. And every time you get hit, you lose those kills, essentially. Unless, obviously, you're on a multiple of 20, then you lose absolutely nothing. If you're going to get hit, make sure it's on a multiple of 20. Afterlife is the simplest one. You could also hop into directed mode to do it. Directed mode would be very good for it, because most of the guns you get out of the box are blue in directed mode. And if you just have a blue tier 1 gun in that mode, you're fucking flying. You're doing so well. And you can literally get 5,000 points in that time. You just you hit the box, pack-a-punch the weapon you get, and then get 200 kills without taking damage. Get your Afterlife, and then you hit the box, and you do that over and over and over and over and over again. There's going to be no manglers. At your round cap on directed mode, there is no manglers, no abominations, and few vermin. It is so incredibly easy to do Gold and Afterlife in directed mode. It doesn't really require much explanation, but obviously you can only do one gun at a time, because that's just kind of how the challenge works. Nebula is where it gets interesting. Nebula is where we really pull out the cheese strats that I'm about to show you. Okay, so I've now made it to the game where we are going to grind for Nebula. What I've done is loaded up a directed mode version of Liberty Falls, and I've just crafted the LTG. Now what this does in the Easter egg, if you haven't done it yet, is it summons an HVT, Abomination, or Mangler, and you basically just have to kill it in a certain way to finish the part of the Easter egg. However, we're going to use it a little bit differently. See, what we're going to do is we're going to sit here and defend this for 1 minute. We don't have to worry about getting the ether canister. It just means that we won't be able to see the progress on this. I don't know how long we got left. It'll be like, I don't know if it's 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, but you know, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the LTG crafted, you are good to go. You just follow the steps through. Even if you don't know how to do it, you can just follow the steps through. It's the beauty of directed mode. It's good for camo grinding, and it doesn't leave anyone out. Yay! So we're just going to wait for this to be done. Shouldn't be too much longer now. You just have to defend it from the zombies. We can't see its health bar because of the retrieve the ether can. Oh my god. I'm actually going to lose. Okay, I'm not going to lose. Okay, it's done. Cool. So, in this time, it spawned in an abomination, and that means the other one up by the graveyard will spawn in a mangler. It doesn't make a difference either way. Both of these HVTs are elite enemies. The mangler, I would argue, is easier to kill than the abomination. So what you can do is you can either finish the step, you can continue with the Easter egg until you get to the second one, or you can save and quit and reload in, and there will be a 50-50 chance whether it spawns in a mangler or an abomination next time, because this one will always now spawn in abominations. But it's just 50-50 on the first roll of the game, and saving and quitting treats like a new game, essentially. And this would be where I would do it in regular mode. However, in standard mode zombies, you have to burn rounds for this. Because how this works is you need to kill this HVT abomination inside the trap that spawns here with an ether canister there from the Easter egg that's in the church at the minute. Doesn't matter too much for our purposes. And then that continues on with the Easter egg. However, if you just kill it and fail the step, then another one will spawn the next round when you interact with the device. So what we're going to do here is we are going to kill this abomination. I've also got Deadshot, because Deadshot is actually on the map in directed mode. The Wonder Fizz is active from round 1, which is amazing. Oh, come on. Please die. There you go. Right, so that is an elite kill. I should have turned on my scoreboard, but that is an elite kill because it is an HVT and also an abomination, but it's the same with a mangler. If it spawns in a mangler, don't worry, that counts as an elite. And this is why you can't do the opal grind in directed mode, because the mangler does not count as a special enemy. And we're literally just going to sit here and do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to end the rounds, and then once round 13 starts, and this also works after round 15 as well. Once you finish round 15 and go back into the start of round 15, it will refresh this. What will happen is when the round starts, this will stop being on cooldown. Eventually. And then we can turn it back on. We don't even have to defend it. We don't even have to defend it. It just spawns whatever spawned there last. There we go. Yep. And I can just do that again. I can just kill it again. And we are just going to go through the rounds, killing zombies. It's always going to be round 15. It takes like 2 minutes to get through a round. Not even that. On round 15. And then you can just spawn in another one. And do it over and over and over again. It is incredibly easy. Now the setup I would do for this is obviously I've got my Krig. Which is my, like, I need to get this Nebula weapon. Like, I've got it Afterlife. I need to get it Nebula. I need the elite kills with it. So that's what we're doing. Okay, right. So, how I was doing this when I was doing Nebula is I had my gun I wanted to get Nebula on, and either you're going to run you're going to have it like tier 1 pack-a-punch, it doesn't really matter, and then you're going to either run the GS45 akimbo, or I guess it doesn't have to be akimbo, but you know, you do whatever, the GS45, and what I did is I got this to tier 2 and purple. I found that was a very good line for it. Tier 2 pack-a-punch, purple rarity, and once you can keep finishing round 15 over and over and over again to get points and salvage. By the time I finished my game, I had 450,000 points and 150,000 salvage or something. Like, you just get infinite resources. It's incredible. And You're not going to put napalm burst on it. You're not going to do any of that because just you want it to be consistent. You want it just to be consistent. And then you've got your other gun. You don't want napalm burst on it or anything like that. And when you get your GS45 Pack-a-Punched, if you have a mangler spawn in, you can obviously just shoot it a few times, get it weak, switch to your other gun, and blah, blah, blah. However, I've actually found abominations are faster to kill with the right setup, which was tier 2 purple, although I did have napalm burst on, so maybe try a tier 2 gold. But you know, you can fiddle about with it as you need. Abomination, you just wait for it to start doing its laser beam attack, and you just one shot into its mouth, and that will take off 90% of its health because it's round 15. And then you can finish it off with your gun Nebula. And then once you finish your gun as Nebula, you literally just, with the same as Afterlife, you head over to the box. You could do this in the same game as Afterlife if you really wanted to. You just head to the box, you hit the box, and you swap out the gun that you were getting Nebula on. Now it's the Marine again, I guess. I would go Pack-a-Punch it just to tier 1. I wouldn't even upgrade it to blue in this case. I would just Pack-a-Punch it to tier 1. And then run over, end the round, and then activate the LTG again. You can buy ammo if you need to. And it's just so incredibly fast. I got Nebula technically in one game, but you can save and quit. It took about 10-12 hours, I would say, to get Nebula. When you get to round 15, you'll save and quit. If you load in on round 15, it will say save is available at round 16. When you end round 15 and go back to the start of round 15, you can save and quit again, and you can keep doing that to re-roll if you want a mangler instead of an abomination, or you want an abomination instead of a mangler, whatever floats your boat. They're both elites because they're HVTs. And yeah, you can just keep going. It doesn't even take long to get here. I've been waffling for like 9 minutes now, essentially. So I got to the LTG built in 20 minutes. It's so easy to do the Nebula grind. It was very intimidating at first, but you just literally either have an explosive weapon like the LR or the GS, and just to burn through the rounds as quick as humanly possible, or you run a gun that you're trying to get gold on. Like, for example, I finished Nebula. I still need to get gold on the Krig, so I can burn the rounds with the Krig instead of the GS45 to work towards my headshots. Just to throw ideas out there. But if you're just going for the 33, I found the GS45 is the quickest way to end the round. I wouldn't get any nukes, because on the off chance it doesn't end the round, which is a good amount of the time, you'll have to wait for a new zombie to spawn in, and it will take forever to get to you, because it's only round 15. It's not worth picking up the nukes. But obviously try and get as many points as possible, from like bonus points, double points, etc. And you can just keep farming the elite that comes out of this HVT every single round. It is tedious, but it is easy, and that's really all that matters. It's relatively fast. I would say it's probably the fastest way to farm elites. The other way I can think of to farm elites that's very quick is by hopping into Terminus and doing the mangler step of the pirate Easter egg over and over again. But that requires like planned saving and quitting. That requires you to have Molotovs unlocked, or thermo grenades, or something like that. And it's just a bit more difficult. And I don't think it's even faster. But whatever floats your boat. Once again, I would recommend how I've shown you. And that's it. That's basically the raw strategy. So I'm just going to hop back into the menu and sort of go over some, like, guide strategies, I guess, and tips. So, my video game won't let me back in, so no more menu for me. I've just got, you know, a couple tips to throw around real quick that'll make it a little bit less, not less tedious or less boring or anything, just a little bit more bearable, really, because it is a very boring grind. It is zombies after all. It's just kind of running around killing zombies. I mean, I've been having a lot of fun, but I'm a little bit biased towards this game. My first little tip is this camo tracker. It's warzonehub.gg. I'll put the link in the description. It's incredible. It tracks up to your calling card, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called already. But you can like activate camos, deactivate camos. It's incredible. You can favorite weapons so that they go to the top, so you can see what weapons you're currently working on. And you can also check all of your camo challenges individually. So you can see what your things are mid-game, essentially. So you don't have to be like, assault rifle mastery camos, and you have to scroll through some stupid IGN list or something. It's super, super useful. You do have to make an account on there if you want it to save your progress. But if you just kind of keep your PC on all the time, just make it, you put it in a tab, just leave it there, or whatever. It's fine. I'm not sure how it works on mobile, but it's something. The link, I'll put that down in the description as well. It'll be the first link in the description. The second thing I want to say is to play Terminus as much as possible. First of all, just it's nice to have a break from the monotony, but also there are some guns that do require parasite eliminations. One of them is the AS Val. You need 30 parasite eliminations for one of the specials. One of them is the LW3 parasite eliminations here. And I think there's some kind of, I think it might be a rifle, maybe. There's a third one that requires parasite kills as well, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I have no idea. But yeah, you're going to just want to play Terminus as much as you can, because it's different from Liberty Falls. Liberty Falls fucking is ingrained into my brain now. It is too much. I need a break from the abominations forever. I hate abominations now, but yeah, this is a super nice camo tracker. Terminus is nice. Just don't spend the entire time on Liberty Falls. The next thing as well, I would not work on your LR762 headshots and your GS45 headshots in a regular mode. I would go into directed mode, buy Deadshot, and just do it there. It's so much quicker. You don't have to deal with many armored zombies. It's so much quicker. Just do them in directed mode, no matter that. They take precedent over. Do them first. Do them first, honestly. Just do them first. Get them out of the way, and then finish their classes, and then do the dovetail, do the opal while you're doing the other headshots, etc., etc., etc. Another thing is, once we get more guns, figure out what guns are your favorite, what guns are your least favorite, what you think would be easiest to get headshots on, what would be very hard to get headshots on. Like, if we get a new sniper, you might just want to fuck off with the LR762. Just make sure you choose your guns well, because you do only need 33 weapons total for Afterlife and Nebula. You only need 7 assault rifles gold, you only need 6 SMGs gold, and then 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, and 2 for the other classes here I'm showing. And that will be the case forever. They're not going to change that. However, if you do want Nebula on a gun, that does require having Afterlife, which requires having Opal, which requires having Gold, etc. So if you, let's say I've finished all of my stuff now, if I want to put Nebula on my Krig, I now need to go through all of these other camos just to get it, which, that's fine. It doesn't take too long once you have everything. The longest part of the grind by far is getting Opal on every gun and unlocking Afterlife. That is the grind. The mastery camos are the victory laps. I said that earlier. It's so true. It's like the mastery camos took me like 20 hours of game time, whereas Opal on every gun took me fucking forever. And the final thing, just don't stress about efficiency too much, because it will just make it way less fun. Do your other crap, do your Easter eggs, play some multiplayer. It doesn't really matter too much. Just try and make it fun for yourself. Don't be too efficient to the point where, like, you're not going to be first. You're not first in the world. I wasn't first in the world. I wasn't even close. I don't care. Just don't burn out just doing this fucking camo challenge. It's not worth it. But that's about it, really. Especially now that zombies weapon builds have been fixed, it's a really good time to start doing it, because now you can actually look at your camos while doing it. I couldn't look at any of my camos while grinding because I couldn't get them other than on my loadout. But now you can. It's fun. It's just a fun time, even if it is boring. I know that's like an oxymoron or whatever, but I had a lot of fun with this grind. I would do it a little bit differently. Obviously, there's some stuff I would do differently that I couldn't have done before, like directed mode, or I don't know. Directed mode's the main one. Directed mode is huge for Nebula and Afterlife, and somewhat for Gold. It opens up not just the Easter eggs, but the camo grind to everyone, because it's just quicker. It's just a lot quicker. And one more thing as well. If you have any XP tokens from Warzone or Modern Warfare 3 or whatever, or from this new update, use them. Just use them. It will make unlocking certain things easier, and you're going to either want to prestige as much as possible or not at all. So you're going to want as much XP, and the reason you're going to want to prestige as much as possible or not at all is to keep things unlocked. And I'm not even talking about weapons here. Weapons aren't too important to keep unlocked, as you can get the majority of them from the box. I think the only ones you can't get from the box at the minute are the Sorg and the Krig. It was the HE1, but that's now in the box as of Season 1. But yeah, I would either just stay at level 55 so that you can do whatever whenever, or I would permanently unlock maybe some high-level weapons, but it's not too much of a big deal. All of the high-level weapons, except for the GPMG, I believe, are wall guns. The AS Val is a wall gun in Terminus if you need it. So is the Goblin. The Sarkov... Oh, no, that's not a super high level. Like, the DM10, that's a wall weapon on Liberty Falls. Like, a lot of the high-level guns are wall guns in the game. Figure out what guns are wall guns, what guns are box guns. Make sure you're trying to prioritize box guns as much as possible. But don't, obviously, overdo it. If you just get a gun from the box, you could just do it. But don't take a wall gun off the wall to do gold or opal or whatever. Make sure you're doing your box guns first, because if you get down to just needing one gun and it's only in the box, like the PP, for example, and you don't have it unlocked, you're going to be hitting that box for ages. Or the GPMG is really bad at the minute because it's like level fucking 52, I think. And there's no way to get it otherwise. Obviously, it's easier if you have the battle pass with loads of your variants and stuff, because it permanently unlocks it. But at the end of the day, just permanently unlock things that will genuinely help just doing it faster, like Ether Shroud. You can permanently unlock Ether Shroud, permanently unlock Frenzied Guard if you want, even though it's only level 9. I can't even see what I've permanently unlocked. I can't remember off the top of my head, honestly, because of this fucking thing. I think I permanently unlocked the Molotov for the Pirate Easter Egg if you want to do that for gold weapons. I've permanently unlocked every... I've permanently unlocked every ammo mod except for Deadwire, because you get it really early. Or not Deadwire, Napalm Burst, because you get it really early. And they're really good because then obviously you don't have to get to, for example, level 29 for Brain Rot. Just spend your tokens wisely, or stay at level 55. One or the other. For Afterlife, stay at level 55, honestly. It's a little easier with Director's Cut now, or Directed Mode, where you can just hit the box and do that over and over again. When I did it, I'd stayed at level 55. I just forewent the XP from getting all the camos. I just stayed at level 55 so I could start the game with a box gun and then hit the box, hope for another box game, etc, etc. It's not as bad now with Director's Mode, but yeah. Nebula, I would definitely just prestige beforehand because you're going to get a ton of XP from Nebula. It's a lot. It's 7,500 XP per camo, 10,000 XP for the calling card that you get for getting your first Nebula, and it's like 15,000 XP for the final one. You get a lot of XP for Nebula. When you're doing your Nebula grind, you will prestige. I prestiged. I went from level 1 to level 55, and I got about 27 Nebulas in that time. And obviously that includes like the killing the zombies and failed manglers that I killed or whatever. Like I killed elites by accident with the wrong gun, etc, etc. And that was some double XP tokens, and leveling up weapons still, like the Sorg. But yeah, use your double XP on Nebula after prestiging. It's a very good idea. It's a free prestige. But yeah, that's about it. If anyone has anything to add, leave it down below. I can maybe write a pinned comment or pin your comment. If there's multiple people, I can write a comment and like paste their names and who said what and leave a pinned comment. It's just any tips as well that I may have forgotten. Just leave them down there, and good luck, I guess. Don't go too insane.